G'day legends, TJC Sports here for the final NRL predictions video. Today, it is what the entire season has been building up to. It is the NRL Grand Final predictions, legends. It is the two best teams of the season 2023, the Brisbane Broncos and the Penrith Panthers, legends, at a core stadium as per usual. Obviously, Penrith Panthers chasing a three-peat, and the Brisbane Broncos chasing to win their first grand final in over 7 years. How crazy is that, legends? Such a successful club in the past. Can the Broncos repeat it and shock the Panthers? The stakes could not be higher. I know I said that last week, but this is just facts. Both these teams, legends, absolutely massive factors to take into account, and we'll get all around it in a second. Be sure to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you have enjoyed the content and want to see more. Also hit that bell to be notified of when we upload, of course, legends. And with all of that out of the way, keep in mind that these are just my predictions. These are my own thoughts and opinions, so feel free to let me know in the comments down below what you think. Let's get on with it. To predict this game is absolutely insane, you know. This game, there is so much on the line right now, guys. The Penrith Panthers and the Brisbane Broncos at Accor Stadium. Legends, there's a lot to take in here. I mean, both these teams are one apiece in terms of who's won this season. The Penrith Panthers, legends, they won the second time round. I think it was a little bit after Magic Round. And the Brisbane Broncos won round one. Let's keep in mind that, obviously, round one, it's not the best quality of footy. So you can excuse Panthers for losing by 1 point despite it being at home. But that second game, all right, legends, I don't know if everybody quite remembers how that second game went, but the Brisbane Broncos were actually pretty close with the Panthers for a lot of it from what I remember, and it was only towards the little bit there in the end the Panthers did dominate, but they had no Reynolds that day. These are two full-strength teams going against each other now, legends. Fitness fully there. Have been the two best teams all season, and they've both got their own things to fight for. The Broncos have not made a grand final since 2015, and we know how much of a heartbreaker that was for them, legends. I'm sure it's a day many Broncos fans will want to forget, but probably do not, legends. Obviously, only also 2 years after getting a wooden spoon, guys. Actually, 3 years, sorry. I'm a rugby league content creator, not a maths teacher. 3 years, legends. Back in 2020, when the Brisbane Broncos got their first ever wooden spoon, legends, it was a real shocker that I don't think many predicted. And it was the Broncos at their lowest of lows. They've come from their lowest to the top in under 4 years. That is something to respect, guys. The Brisbane Broncos, ladies and gentlemen. Penrith Panthers, what's on the line for them? They're chasing that three-peat, obviously. No team has done that in the NRL era before. It would make them arguably the best NRL team of, well, you know, the best rugby league team of the NRL era. Honestly, I would have to probably call them that. And, you know, don't get me wrong, legends. I am a Para supporter, not a big Penrith Panthers fan at all, legends. I don't really care too much for them, but I can recognise how good they've been the last 4 years. 4 grand finals in a row, legends. Yes, they lost the first one, but a lot of teams need to lose that first game in order to have the experience to go on and win in the next. Very rarely does a team make the grand final and then win that one instantly. Think about it, legends. There's a lot of times where it feels like you have to get the experience before you can win in that arena. And the Penrith Panthers have a lot more experience than the Brizzy Broncos, legends. Also, their captain, Adam Reynolds, who we were talking about earlier. Adam Reynolds, legends, is a massive change in the tide of this game compared to the last time these two teams played. He's also looking for revenge after a few years ago. It wasn't last year, but I think it was the grand final before. The Bunnies lost to the Penrith Panthers, guys. And Adam Reynolds, that was his final game for them before he went off to Brisbane. This could be the ultimate revenge he was looking for, legends. Finding success outside of the Bunnies for the first time. Not only that, but also getting sweet revenge. Can they do it, legends? Well, I have a few concerns. Firstly, there is the concern of what if the Panthers start off well, because, legends, taking a look at the two preliminary finals between the two teams, Panthers, obviously they dominated their game versus the Storm. It was never really looking like the Storm's game to win, but the Broncos won. The Warriors certainly gave them a good scare at the start, and I'm worried about if they start that way versus the Panthers, where this grand final could be over in the first 20 minutes. And unfortunately, in grand finals, legends, the start can be a big impact in how the game ends, legends. All the Panthers have to do is score a couple tries and then hold on for the rest of the time, and they are through to a three-peat. They will be doing absolutely everything they can as the heavy favourites and the best team of the last 4 years. They will do absolutely anything to lift that premiership 3 times in a row and be the first of recent times. Legends, they're not my favourite team, but I certainly think they are very likely to do it. The Brisbane Broncos, though, I've listed a few ways they can do it. I still think if they can take advantage, get a good start going, keep themselves together defensively, the Panthers aren't immune to errors, legends. The Broncos just have to make sure that they limit their own errors, and with completion rates, I'm sure if the Panthers get desperate enough, it will eventually drop, and the Broncos can take advantage. Legends. My only real concern massively in terms of making me really doubt tipping the Broncos is the fact of the pressure, legends. There's so much pressure when you first make a grand final. Most of this team has never played a grand final. The Brisbane Broncos, a lot of them don't know the feeling, and it can be overwhelming for even some of the best teams of each year's. Really is concerning for me. But, of course, before we get into tips, let's do some anytime try scorers and our first try scorer. For the Penrith Panthers, I will go with Brian To'o for anytime try scorer. He's just such a reliable scorer, and I think if there's a player in a close grand final that's going to run over the line, it will be him. And for the Brisbane Broncos, I'll go with who I think has been the best fullback of the season, Reece Walsh. First try scorer. It's tough to say which team will score first, but with experience, I will go with the Penrith Panthers, and it will be Stephen Crichton in his final game for them. Obviously, a couple players departing for both teams, Herbie Farnworth and Flegler, also for the Broncos, off to the Dolphins next year. So I think both teams will have a lot of motivation from it. Also, in a little bit of a fun twist, it is father and son versus father and son. Nathan Cleary and Ivan Cleary taking on Billy and Kevy Walters. Coach and player, father and son, taking on coach and player, father and son. Can't wait for that, legends. Let's see, will the Walters win or will the Clearys win? We will find out on Sunday. Anyways, legends, having had all of that said, I think it's time to give you my tip. This is by far the hardest grand final I have ever had to predict. But, having discussed everything with you, legends, I think I'm ready to say that I will be tipping the Penrith Panthers 1-12. It's nothing against the Broncos. I do think the Broncos have a great chance in this, as I've made clear. But the Penrith Panthers, guys, they have that grand final experience. They have the roster to back it up. Yes, the Broncos have come very close to beating them both times and even ended up winning on the first occasion. But the grand final's a whole other level, and I think the Panthers are another beast every time they play it. This is the best chance I think we've had to see a team get the three-peat, and while I'm not a fan of the Panthers as a Para supporter, I do think they have a good shot in it. I am going to be going with the Panthers 1-12. The Broncos, though, it's not impossible, but I think that they'll start well and the Panthers will just keep it on from there. It's going to be an exciting grand final nonetheless, though, and probably be one of the most exciting we have seen in a very long time in our game. So just because I didn't tip yous, Bronx, don't give up hope, fans. There's still a chance. Anyways, legends, that was my predictions for the NRL 2023 Grand Final. Do you agree or disagree? Do you think the Broncos are going to win it? Do you think that the Panthers are going to win it, but you want Broncos to win it? Or do you want Panthers to win it and think Broncos are going to win it? There are so many opinions you can have, so feel free to let me know in the comments down below your own thoughts. With all of that out of the way, that's been the video. Be sure to check out one of the other ones on screen if you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you all next time.